Just when you thought the transfer window is getting a little bit boring, the same links. Today, a huge bomber from David Ornstein regarding one of the best wide players in world football. But ladies and gents, before we get into that, I want to announce I am taking part in a really, really good event tomorrow. It's a poker event. It's a football conversation, and we're playing poker at the same time. Myself, Hugh Wizzy, Terry Flewis from the Football Terrace, We Are Tottenham TV, and Red Men TV are taking part in a series of live events. Tomorrow is going to be the first event. It will be live streamed on this channel at Henry Talks Football. Be there 7 p.m. So I'll tell you, you're not going to want to miss this. I put you that. You're not going to want to miss this. Now, the transfer window, which is why you're all here. We're 9 days in, and I thought it was getting a little bit repetitive, some of the same old links. And then out of nowhere, David Ornstein with a bomber. And that was, now, I always butcher his name, Kvaratshelia. Kvaratshelia? I think it's how you pronounce his name. Apologies to anyone who is from Georgia. I have just butchered that. But you know who I'm all talking about. David Ornstein bomba. There it is. Liverpool could consider a move to sign Kvaratshelia if he leaves Napoli in January. Now, let's just take that in. And before we do take that in, make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. If we could hit 300 likes, that'd be glorious. Make sure you have that subscribe button. 89% of you have not subscribed to the channel, and we're under 2,000 subscribers away because we just hit 38K of hitting 40K. So big up to every single person. Now, this is an interesting one because Napoli, the last year, have lost Victor Osimhen. He has joined Galatasaray, and now they're on the verge of losing Kvaratshelia. I butchered it. I always call him Cravadonna, so that's what I'm going to call him, Cravadonna. If he leaves Napoli in this January, Liverpool not actively seeking winger, but a big admirers, alert to the situation. May it contend if it becomes a market opportunity. PSG and Chelsea are also among the other clubs interested. Now, for me, he is one of the best wide players in the world. He had a really, really good season that year when Napoli won the Scudetto. He can play on the left. He can play on the right. He's so technically good. He can beat his man. He's got pace. We saw him at the Euros carry Georgia on a number of occasions. 5 goals and 3 assists, 8 GA in 17 in La Liga, in Serie A. His record overall for Napoli it's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's extraordinary, but it is pretty good. 59 GA in 107. It's where he makes the impact for me is that decision making. I've watched so many highlight reels of him in the last few weeks, and I've spoken about him in on a number of occasions. But now, I mean, 7 GA and 17 in the Champions League. That record for Napoli, it is pretty good, isn't it? I wouldn't say it's like Salah level, but it is pretty good. 59 GA and 107. So that's roughly 1 GA every 2 games. Overall in his career, he's got 105 GA in 224 games for Rubin Kazan, for Dynamo, for Lokomotiv Moscow. A lot of Russian sort of clubs there he's played in, but he has made his mark in Italy. Now, in terms of his wages, in terms of his contract, in terms of the player, his contract expires June 30th, 2027. Now, he can play as a second striker, but his predominant position is on that left wing. Now, where I do think this does cause a little bit of I wouldn't say it's concern, but this now tells me that Chiesa and Darwin Nunez are going to be leaving Liverpool in the next, I would say, year or two. If this is concrete, we know how strong David Ornstein is as a reporter, as a journalist. We know how reliable he is. This tells me that Marcus Edwards is planning for the future. Now, when you look at that front line of Liverpool and you look at how strong it is, Salah on the right, his contract situation's up in the air. But you look on the left, Cody Gakpo is playing out of his skin right now for Napoli. So if Cravadonna comes in, where would he play? And does he start? That's another question. I think he does start, but I wouldn't really want to throw Gakpo onto the bench because he is playing well. Now, the interesting part about it is rotation is so important, and we know that. That front line, Salah, Gakpo, Diaz, and Jota, those are the four for me, which Liverpool can heavily rely on when it comes to output. You look at Darwin Nunez, far too unreliable for me, not a consistent finisher. Well, he does consistently finish, but it's never in the back of the net. And then you got Federico Chiesa. And the more I think about Federico Chiesa, the more I think he could potentially be going back to Italy. Could he potentially be used in this move? We know of Napoli's interest in the past. Could he potentially rejoin Napoli? You know, what would your guys' thoughts on that be? Because for me, I think Federico Chiesa plus money for Kvaratshelia would be a good signing for them. And then look at the options they'd have: Jota, Salah, Cody Gakpo, Diaz, and Kvaratshelia. And you'd also potentially still have Nunez. When you look at him in terms of his salary, in terms of him as a player, the salary for me is an interesting one because I think, you know, he's joining PSG. Obviously, they're a big club, but a lot of players join because of the financial side of it. When you actually look at his contract at Napoli, he's only on 39,000 euros a week. So he comfortably would be on 150, 160, 170,000 euros a week if he joined PSG, maybe 200. He's only 23 years of age. People forget that. He's got his best years to come. 39,000 euros, I think Liverpool could comfortably put him on north of 120. His stats are very good. Progressive carry, successful take-ons, tackles is good for a winger, shot creating actions, total shots. You know, he is up there against, you know, look at the players that's in there. Luis Diaz. You know, that just tells you that this is a long-term option for Liverpool. And to be fair, he is a similar player to Diaz. Now, he fits the system. He's quick. He's so good on the ball. He can create chances. He can score goals. You know, it just comes down to how much is he actually going to cost Liverpool. Now, of course, Chelsea and PSG are both interested. I think there's more chance of him joining Chelsea and Liverpool than joining PSG. Or I think they're in better. I think Liverpool are in a much better position than those other two clubs. And I think Liverpool should be his first destination. In terms of his market value, transfermarket.co.uk value him at 85 million euros. Now, I think he would leave Napoli for a lot less than that. I think it will be 50 or 60 million. But as you can see, there's that Scudetto. This season, if you look on his map here, this season he's played 1 time on the right, 5 times as a second striker, and 13 times as a winger. And his best output has actually been per game has been playing as a second striker. You know, 8 goals this season, 8 GA in 17. In terms of the Nation League, he's played a number of minutes. He is a top player, and I think he will be a fantastic addition to Napoli. And as you can see there, both footed. He's so good on both feet. And the fact that he's versatile, Liverpool should be all over this. Absolutely all over this. The question is, are they going to beat Chelsea? Because if Chelsea get him, wow. If Chelsea get this guy, that for me, listen, if Chelsea get this guy and you've got Chelsea with Neto, Palmer, Kvaratshelia, Jackson, Nkunku, they'll be absolutely balling out. But it looks like, as it stands, Liverpool may have found their first signing. You know, let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you drop a like if you haven't already. And in terms of David Ornstein, he clearly knows something about Liverpool's interest. We're just going to have to wait and see, as well as Chelsea. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you have subscribed. Make sure you check out the poker tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Be there. I am out. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.